All right, kind of windy, but completely beautiful. I want to show you my favorite scenery right there, friends. See that pine tree? That green, dark green up against that dark blue? That is one of my favorite things to look at. Gorgeous. Reminds me of when I was a kid. Oh my, the good old days. Anyway, you were looking at a soldier fly bin. And basically, what this is this is a bin that will actually feed the fish automatically. I won't even have to mess with it. All I will do is bring my food waste out and waste stuff from the garden and put it in the bin. Lift the lid, put it right in the bin. And what will happen is that soldier flies will come in there, lay eggs, larvae will eat, the eggs will hatch, the larvae will eat and break down and turn that vegetation, that food waste, into compost. Now, we're not talking about meats and stuff like that. We're talking about vegetation, fruits, vegetables, stuff from the garden, grass clippings, weeds, whatever, and they will turn it into compost. Now, once this thing gets going really powerful and strong, and it's at its full force, you can throw meat in there. You can throw whatever you want in there, and they will eat it. I won't be doing that. It'll just be strictly vegetation. So that's it. They will lay an egg. The egg will hatch. The larva will fall down into the compost, and they will go to eating. And what happens is that the larva, when it wants to turn into a soldier fly, it'll try to get out of the bin, and it will get out via this way. And when it does crawl out, of course, it will fall right into the pond, and it will feed the fish automatically. Now, once this thing gets going, I mean, really gets hopping, it will probably, I'm going to say, feed 20 fish. Not real sure about that. I have had soldier flies before by accident, and there was an enormous amount of them. And anyway, so let's get started. So what'll happen? I got a couple of air holes, one here, some up under the handles, and then I got another one on the opposite side. So the soldier fly can enter from them holes, or it can enter from here. Now, it's important to have some sort of airflow in there, and that's perfect right there. It'll let the hot air out and let the soldier fly in. So, and it's a handle as well. So the soldier fly will enter in here. Now, when it enters in, it will lay its eggs in the corrugated part of the cardboard. See that? It'll lay its eggs right inside there. The eggs will then hatch, and the larva will fall out from the bottom, landing into the compost. Let's take a look. Excuse me. Landing into the compost. Now this, as that compost and the larva builds up, it'll build up, to whatever height. As it builds up, the larva, when the larva is at its age where it wants to turn into a fly, it will circle, it will walk, crawl on top of the compost and search for a way out, just constant. And at some point, it will come across this one, or this one. And when it does, it will automatically want to go up, and it will go up and fall out. Now, you can look and see. I don't really have to explain how I made this. It's very simple. I took a 2-inch Schedule 40 PVC cut it in half this way. See that? Left the round part, left it a couple of inches before I exit the bin, and then put a 90 on it. See that? Very simple. I bolted it in on the sides and on the bottom. This is very simple as well. I took some sort of coupling. That's a bushing. You can use a bushing. That's a 3/4 to 1 inch bushing, PVC bushing. And then took a little piece of 3/4 PVC pipe. Put that pipe into the T. And then you see what I did here. Just put the 3/4 inch pipe into there. Put a angle on it, 45 or whatever. It don't have to be perfect. That's just to keep the rain out. That's it. Very simple. See how I did it? A T. And you can use whatever size. It's 3/4 inch. You can use 1 inch. 1/2 inch probably would do. This seems like a good size. So I got the 3/4 inch pipe, 3/4 inch T, and then I had inserted a small piece of 3/4 inch pipe into the T here. It poked out down there, and so I put a bushing, a 3/4 inch to a 1 inch Schedule 40 PVC bushing onto that, just to hold it in there good. And then you can see I caulked with black latex caulk. I also caulked white latex caulk around the pipes here. I just don't want my larva coming out those holes, is the only reason I did that. You probably won't even have to do that, but I did it just for that purpose. And I put it on there good and thick. That way it can move around a little bit, endure the sun a little bit. This tote is the absolute perfect thing. Absolute perfect thing. Now, you can actually put you a shut-off, insert you a CPVC or PVC, or stick you a hose in here with a shut-off on it. However you want to do it. We can put you a shut-off here, and actually you're better off with a hose. And then drain off the juices and use it as compost drink, or compost liquid compost. I didn't choose to do that. I don't really care about doing that, so I drilled holes in the bottom of the bin so that the juices can just go out that way. So that is that, friends. So you got to make sure that you can get rid of the liquid that accumulates in there. So the simplest thing is just to drill holes. Not a ton of them. I just drilled about 4 holes down there. And if that don't work, I'll drill a couple of more. Do something different. Anyway, this is it. I was going to build a wooden one, but it didn't make sense to me. This cost me $11 for the bin. Everything else I had, of course, I do plumbing, and I've got tons of extra, so it cost me $11, and that is it. I was going to do a wooden one, but the wooden one just didn't make sense. It would have been way too expensive. Wood and moisture, because it gets very moist inside there. Lots of wetness in there. And so wood and wetness don't mix. Although I could have painted it, quilted it, painted it, sealed it off. Wood and moisture don't mix. And then I would have had to have worried about the rain on the outside of it, on the exterior. So it had just been a lot of work and just not worth it to me. This is perfect. $11, 20 minutes to make, maybe 30. Let me take that back, about 45 minutes. So figure an hour or two, and that's it. You do not have to have that middle one. That middle one is I just put it in there for an extra. Actually, I left it in there for an extra. I was just going to do one in the middle and angle some pieces of plastic in towards it where the larva would have to cross that. But I was like, after I got to thinking about it last night, I was like, it's not going to work real good. So you can leave off the middle one if you want to and just do the two on the sides. The middle one is good as well. I mean, it'll catch them as well. So, but you definitely need the two on the sides. Anyway, think about it. Think about it and get you one. Get you one where it has a lid like this. This lid is kind of humped up in the middle, kind of rounded, so the rain will flow right off of it. I've got my holes drilled up here, so as this gives it an overhang. And anyway, that's it. So hang the cardboard. Now you can put the cardboard on the sides. You can see I've got a screw over here where I had them on the sides, and I will put some on the sides. But I seen a guy, he had them hanging like this, and I thought, man, it's an awesome idea. So I went with that, but I will put cardboard on the sides too, and then that way they can lay their eggs there as well. So an automatic fish feeder. Once this is going, they'll climb up. Boom, into the water they go. So we put 5 fish in here yesterday. It was somewhat of a shock to them, but they survived. They're doing good, swimming around this morning. We'll see. I had one of my neighbors who has a big pond tell me that it just wasn't going to work because it would get too hot. The water would get too hot for them, but I studied that out last night, and they're saying that brim, bluegill, sunfish can handle up to 95-degree water, and that water is not going to get that hot here. It just isn't. Our hottest temperature is only a few days that hit 95, and that water is not going to get 95 degrees. It only gets about 5 hours of sun, and the rest shade. So anyway, I'm going to put a floating, some type of floating planter where plants, roots are going down in there and plants are going out into the water. I got to figure that out, and we'll go from there. And that way that will float around. It'll make it pretty big. It'll float around and they can get under that for shade. So right now it's not even in the 70s, so I'm not too worried about it. Hey, get your food going. Get your food going. Listen to CNBC, not MSNBC. No, I don't listen to that trash. I don't listen to Fox or CNN. But just here lately, I've kind of got everybody's point of view because of the virus. But I listen to CNBC, which is a stock. You know, it's investments and stocks and all that. Not that I do that. I have nothing to do with that stuff. But I like to see what folks are talking about there. And 2 people came on there either this morning or last night. I didn't watch it till this morning. And they were saying that the home building plummeted. And that the home remodeling and home improvements, because of the virus. Who wants somebody in their house remodeling their house right now? Different story if you're building an addition and you don't have to go in folks' house, or building a new house or whatever. Somebody don't live in the house, but you can imagine people do not want people in their house working. So, although I do have a bathroom remodel coming up, probably next week, they want me, so I said, okay. And then I've got another possibility of one. We'll see, a fairly big one. We'll see. The bathroom remodels are my thing when it comes to remodeling. Anyway, I prefer to do septic and plumbing, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. Anyway, I do have a job coming up this week, coming up tomorrow. That will actually, it'll be the first day I've worked in a week, but I will make enough off of it to support me through the week, if you know what I mean. Anyway, we'll see you, friends. Hey, get that food security. Hey, concentrate on